Hi, I'm Mike Michelizzi, Senior Director of Technical Services here at Custom Building Products. I'd like to welcome you to the Custom Technical University and our top 5 tips for how to install large format tile. In the world of tile, large is a relative term. It wasn't too long ago that an 8-inch tile was classified as a large format tile. But today we see 18-inch, 24-inch, even 48-inch tiles in most commercial projects. And large format tiles are not just square, but they're rectangular as well. So, if the tile has a length greater than 15 inches on any side, it's considered large format, even with a smaller 6-inch tile. All the tips that we're going to show you today will apply to any large format tile, regardless of its shape. Tip number 1, always do an inspection of your floor or wall to make sure it has the proper flatness before you begin. And it's best to do this with plenty of time before the installation in case leveling is required. Specifications for floor flatness are typically 1/4 of an inch and 10 feet, with variations of no more than 1/16 of an inch per foot. But that standard does not apply to large format installations. New requirements for flatness are 1/8 of an inch in 10 feet, with no more than 1/16 of an inch variance in 2 feet. Flattening the floor by filling low spots and removing high spots will significantly improve the final result. And it'll make the work a lot easier and more profitable. Self-leveling and patching technologies have really advanced in floor preparation, so make sure to consider these first, as installing a mortar bed to make a level surface is not usually an option. Tip number 2, always use a medium bed mortar designed for large format tile. The Tile Council of North America recommends the use of a medium bed mortar when installing large format tiles. This type of mortar is specifically designed to provide the 3/4 of an inch thickness that may be required to fill irregular spaces between the floor and the tile, ensure full mortar coverage under the tile, eliminate hollow spots, and reduce the possibility of cracked tiles. These mortars can also handle the increased weight that you get with some of these very large format tiles. We recommend Custom's large format tile mortar, complete contact LFT, or ProLite mortars for your best results. Tip number 3, use a large notch trowel. It'll actually save you time and money. The cost difference between using a little more mortar with a larger notch trowel versus the time and effort wasted using a smaller trowel, such as a 3/8 inch notch trowel, is very considerable. Large format tiles are almost always back buttered and need extra mortar to achieve minimum coverage rates. Using a larger trowel will make it easier to get the adhesion and coverage that the installation requires. Tip number 4, remember that tile dimensions are consistently inconsistent. One of the primary challenges of installing large format tile in stone is that most owners want very, very tight grout joints. As you can see in these tiles here, although they're sold together as the same tile with the same listed dimensions, their sizes aren't uniform. In order to have an acceptable installation and get a straight grout joint, you have to have a minimum of a 1/16 inch joint, but at least 3 times the variance of the tile. For example, if there's a 1/16 of an inch variance between the tiles, the minimum grout joint width would be 3/16 of an inch. To make sure that your calculations are correct and that the installation will have the desired appearance, always perform a mock-up with the owner before you install your tile. Tip number 5, the larger the tile, the more flatness variance you can expect. Current processes for porcelain tile manufacturing allow for a certain amount of warpage. There can also be quite a bit of doming in the center of the tile, making the edges considerably lower. To check for this condition, take a tile, flip it upside down on a very flat surface. Then press on either corner of the tile, and the movement will show you just how much doming or warpage exists. This can be a major problem when installing the tiles in a brick or running bond pattern, as the variance can cause the installation to exceed the lippage tolerance. To allow for this, limit your tile offset to 33%, or 1/3 of the length of the tile, as opposed to half. To achieve the best results, always create a mock-up before installing the tile and ensure that your layout will work.